guy named Hayden Boaz, who qualified for Nike Cross Nationals despite falling down at NXR Northwest in the championship race. And oddly enough, there was a guy that finished ahead of him he was the first spot out of NXR or to qualify for NXN. Cade Brownell, who we'll see in the mile tomorrow, opted out of NXN, which then gave this final spot to Hayden Boaz, and Hayden Boaz was able to go represent the Northwest at Nike Cross Nationals.
What a story that is. And he's now back trying to start and debut his track season. So in this race, we got 17 athletes. The Servi Skinner twins, as you mentioned, wearing 1 and 2. That's Maximus and Zachary. Hayden Boaz wearing number 3. Mason Moracle in 4. Caden Williams wearing 7. Wyatt Carr wearing 8. Bowden Alderson wearing 9. Jackson Corvin wearing 10. Kai Jensen wearing number 11. Wearing 12 is Elliot Stimpson. Wearing 14 is Jet Leavitt. Wearing 15 is Liam Wilde. Wearing 16 is Skylar Gillum. And wearing 17 is Nick Gargano. That is your field for the 8th and final section for the boys 3,000.
The talent spans from Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Montana. I mean, there's some of the best in their respective states that are in this race right here. And, you know, a lot of bragging rights are up for grabs. I mean, this is Northwest dominance. Who wants to be the top dog at the Spokane High School Invitational in 2025? And, you know, for some of these guys, we get to see them for the very first time this season, including Max Servi Skinner, which he is coming off one of the best high school cross-country seasons, probably maybe in Idaho State history. Not necessarily in the terms of, like, you know, running the fastest 5K time ever, but if you go back to the Woodbridge Cross Country Classic down in California and the race that he had with Owen Powell and Josiah Tostenson running the 3rd fastest free mile cross country time, if you want to call it. I know Woodbridge is a very, very flat course. But if we're talking about cross-country races, he ran the 3rd fastest performance ever, and it was faster than Lex Young, which everybody knows who Lex and Leo Young are, two of the best to ever lace them up in high school at Newberry Park High School in California. But when you're in that same conversation as those two, and even like, you know, Aaron Solomon, Nico Young, I mean, Max Servi Skinner ran faster than all those guys have ever had at Woodbridge.
Yeah, and if you have to compare one cross-country course to track and field, it might as well be Woodbridge, and that's a good relation here in indoor track. Woodbridge, about as close as you can get to track and field in the cross-country landscape because of its flat nature. It tends to be one of the fastest courses in the nation pretty much every single year.
Yeah, Max was great in cross. He was also great on the track last outdoor season. He was 6th in the 5,000 at Nike Outdoor Nationals. 12th 11th in the 2 mile. The versatility is all over the place. I mean, I expect him to have a big outdoor season along with his brother too. And I'm kind of excited to see what they do in the state of Idaho, I don't know if they can chase down Nathan Green's mile, I think all-time best, which is like 4 flat in the state of Idaho. But I can certainly see them running around, 405, 406. And that's just a nice build-up before they go to Wake Forest in the fall of next year.
See them on your screen now on the left side in those purple striped singlets. The Servi Skinner twins lined up behind lane 4.
There's one guy I haven't mentioned, and he's on the far right, and that's Mason Moracle out of the Cinder Track Club in Oregon. He was another guy that kind of, took off this fall. I mean, there was a lot of guys in the Northwest this year, and I told a lot of people this, going in NXR Northwest. There was going to be somebody that was really good that was going to get left home from Nike Cross National, which it sucks, but at the same time shows you the depth.
The nature of the beast.
Yeah, it's just the depth of that region. We're seeing 4 of the best guys in the Pacific Northwest, and even Wyatt Carr, who trains with those Servi Skinner twins on a daily basis and at Coeur d'Alene High School. Like, look at them. They're already right there with each other. This is like another daily long run for these guys.
So Wyatt Carr is going to be wearing number 8. They're all wearing the same jersey, so we're going to try to separate them for you. Of course, the Servi Skinner boys are twins, so that also helps.
Can you tell between the two of them, though?
That is a good point. Zachary's wearing number 2. Maximus is wearing number 1. How about that?
I guess that will help in some sense.
So it's going to be the 3 training partners out front early. You can tell this is their plan. go out early and hopefully stick together. But you can tell the rest of the field's not going to let this happen easy.
No, 64 seconds, 72. Like they're not messing around here for this 3,000 race. So if anybody knows about the Coeur d'Alene boys or the North Idaho distance boys, they have a YouTube channel and they post almost every single week. They did a 12 by 400 workout the other night here at the podium, and they cut down they started at 64s, at least the top end boys, started at 64 and cut all the way down to about 61 seconds or so in the second half. So they're trying to test their fitness here early on. They want to see what they are able to do, not only in a 3,000, but also in a mile, as we see Max for the very first time take over the lead just ahead of Wyatt. Zach's currently sitting in third, and then Hayden Boaz right there in fourth with Moracle in fifth.
And right now, I kind of worry about Hayden Boaz's position. Looks like he's really letting the North Idaho Distance Project boys dictate the pace. He's staying right on who's ever in that third position, and you can get in kind of dangerous waters. I understand from a certain perspective, you don't want to let them get away and just run their own race, but at the same time, you have to run your own race. It's a long one, still 12 laps to go, 11 now, laps to go. And Hayden Boaz certainly has an opportunity to be at the top of the leaderboard here. Just got to run careful and tactical.
So this is Max's first race since Nike Cross Nationals when his team got 8th at Nationals. And he didn't like his performance. I don't think a lot of people liked their performance at NXN that day. It was very muddy, as you probably saw. And you probably got to think, well, I got to put that in the past, and I got to move on with the indoor season, and what are my goals for this indoor season? What do I want to do? What do I want to improve upon? I think really the biggest thing for him is maybe working on that mental toughness. I mean, the fact that you had to go through a mud pit through the Glendifer Golf Course in Portland is about as tough as it can get. So far, he's proven the test is good. 246, 248 was that last 1K split for our previous winner in this first section. So again, the top 5 guys, or top 6 guys, I should say, they're within each other. Even Jet Levitt, who's in 6th right now, they're still all within this race.
And you could tell these boys have trained here, done workouts here. This is about as even paced as we have seen all day long. All of these laps are within a half a second of each other. It's Maximus leading. Zachary, his twin brother, in second, and Wyatt Carr, their training partner, in third. But here comes Hayden Boaz looking to mix it up, moving into third.
And the Oregon boys kind of want to push the Idaho boys a little bit here. I'm not saying that Hayden and Mason are on the same team, because they definitely go to different high schools, whereas the 3 Coeur d'Alene boys, they all go to the same high school. But I mean, it's kind of like, kind of prove like what state is better. Is Oregon better? Historically, yes, Oregon has been better at the distances. When we talk about who's been there, Galen Rupp, Ella Donahue. I mean, I can go on and on. But Steve Fontaine, I think that's the biggest one I almost missed right there.
Yeah.
But this is a great opportunity for Idaho, to show their depth and show what they're capable of doing, especially when it comes to what they're able to accomplish this indoor season and outdoor season.
And I think it's fair to say, despite the history of Oregon, Idaho, whatever, I think Idaho right now has the dominant position right now. And the Servi-Skinner twins are saying, hey, let's take advantage of this and put these Oregon kids away. Let's show that we've trained here. Let's show that we know this track and really take control of this race.
And Max has ran about 8:50 for a 2 mile. They just went through 4:28 for the 1600. So this is, this is relatively comfortable pace. And he's actually ran faster than this, I believe, if I do my math right, when he ran that 3 mile down at Woodbridge in California.
So the gap is forming between Maximus and Zachary. And look at Hayden Boaz, maybe looking to make a move into second.
So the Northwest boys have actually really showed up in this event so far this indoor season. Number 1 time in the country belongs to Taven Kitchen. Ran 8:02 at the UW Invitational. Owen Powell, number 2 in the country. He ran 8:04. What can these Northwest boys do? I mean, it's an opportunity to, showcase Idaho, and also another Oregon standout in Hayden Boaz, and along with Mason Moracle too.
And look at this move from Hayden Boaz, moving up into second. We've got some mixes in position, and the rivalries, like you said, we've got kind of staggered positions here. We got Idaho, Oregon, Idaho in third, and then back to Oregon, and the rivalry is showing. 5 laps to go.
And Hayden Boaz now pressing with Max Servi-Skinner. So Max took a pretty bold move to go through. They went about 5:37 through that 2K, which was 2:51, so a little bit slower than that first kilometer. now we're seeing the aftermath of that a little bit, and Hayden Boaz catching right up to Servy Skinner here with a couple laps remaining.
Boaz looking to make a move on the outside shoulder of Maximus. He's staying patient, looking ahead and taking this curve to sort of settle in that second place position. You got to imagine this race also sets the tone for the rest of the season. All these boys obviously coming from the same region. They're certainly going to see each other again this spring as Hayden Boaz makes a move into first.
So early on in the season, there are 3 guys out of Northwest, I should say, that are in the top 3 in the country in this event. Forgot about Cade Brownell. We'll see him tomorrow in the mile. Can Hayden Boaz get into the mix now in the top 5? How many guys from this race can we get into the top 10 in the country? Again, I know it's January and we're still early on, and we got nationals in a couple months from now, but this is still a very good early season test for some of these guys.
Absolutely, and the Oregon boys push forward now. And doesn't look like there's any slowing down of Hayden Boaz. He's got coming up on 2 laps to go. You gotta wonder, did the North Idaho Distance Project boys go a little bit too early? They led by a pretty big margin to start this race, all collectively together. And here comes Hayden Boaz and Mason Moracle.
And this is where these boys show the strength right here from cross country over the last 400 meters or so. 33 seconds, 46. The last couple laps have been 34 seconds. Now things are starting to pick up here over the last lap.
And Hayden Boaz looks more comfortable than ever. His last lap was 33 seconds. That was a second faster than the previous. Heading into the bell lap, it looks fast. Moracle and Boaz separating themselves from the rest of the pack. Bell lap as we await the split time.
So 33.66 for Boaz. This has been a strong second half. He had enough with Max Servy Skinner doing all the work out front, and he decided, this is my race. I'm going to take this win and show you guys what I'm made of here for this indoor and hopefully for a great outdoor season too.
And the final surge from Hayden Boaz. Down the final straight, and what a race. He's going to win by a comfortable margin. A little shake of the finger and a dominant performance by Boaz makes a statement for sure. It's going to be Boaz, Moracle in second. It's going to be Maximus Servy Skinner in third. And wow, that's just sets the tone for the rest of the season. Exciting times to come between these boys.
8:25.20 for Boaz puts him at number 5 in the early season. So you have, of the 5 spots, top spots in the country this year, 4 of them reigned from the Northwest region, 3 of them from Washington, 1 from Oregon.
And as our athletes file in, obviously our compiled scores are pretty much all going to come from that final section, our invite section. And it is going to be Hayden Boaz being your compiled champion here at the boys 3,000 meter. Mason Moracle getting a lifetime best in the 3K. Coming into this one, it was 8:33. We're going to get another look at it here.
So very aggressive from the start, or at least I should not say super aggressive, but like relatively comfortable for them. I mean, 4:28, it's not super fast for these guys, since a lot of them are sub-9 guys in the 2 mile. But once we got into the latter half of the race, you see Hayden Boaz finally pressing with Max Servy Skinner and said, I've had enough through the 2K mark. I'm going to take over this last 1 kilometer, and was in complete control the last 3-4 laps.
Here he goes down towards his last lap. Let's take a look at this finish. He finishes in style, a wave of the finger. There it is, Hayden Boaz, 8:24, and one more look at it.
Future Princeton Tiger. Joe in the Ivy League, what's coming soon? I'm not saying it's Grand Blanks right now, but future's bright for this young man when he goes to Princeton next fall.
If you're a fan of West Coast West Coast track and field, those 4 are set to battle off quite a few times this year, and it'll be really fun storylines to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Servy Skinner with the lifetime best. You got Bowden Alderson out of the Yakima area with